All this Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by autObarn, Investchem, and SKF Bearings. Dezzi's Raceway on the South Coast in Port Shepstone. And the Extreme Festival heads down to the South Coast for the first time this season. It's a great circuit to come and race at. And all of the Natal crowd have come out to be entertained here today. And that's exactly what they're going to get with the Extreme Festival. We start things out with the autObarn Superhatch as they make their way out onto the circuit. 20 cars coming out to play. Matt Cohen, part of Volkswagen South Africa's polo team, now officially part of the Superhatch category. And you'll see a slightly different format there for the paraplegic driver. He has to use a hand control mechanism to ensure that he's got brakes and accelerator. We're on board with the super boss of Chris Davison as they get off the line, heading down towards turn one. A fantastic start coming out of Nick Martin. He's under pressure already from the autObarn car there. As you can see them coming through, Brett Garland applying pressure. Around the outside, though, it's Danhauser. What a start there from Andre Danhauser. Unfortunately, Trans-Africa Racing's Jonathan Dutoy and championship leader is not here this weekend. So it's all up to the front end to try and ensure to get slightly closer to the championship lead that Dutoy's got so far. The rest of the field coming through there, Malspur onto the back end and looking for a way through early on. And you can see them all starting to sort things out. Zane van Zyl also starting to apply pressure from the back in the big jumbo Golf. But look at Danhauser. Where did he find this pace? Disappearing at the front end ahead of Martin. Martin keeping out the championship leader's closest rival there, Brett Garland. He'll be looking to close in on that championship with Jonathan Dutoy not being here. But down in third place is not good enough. Malspur applying pressure onto the back end there. You can see a lovely little battle there between these two, Chris Davison and Louis Scholz. Scholz diving on the inside. Davison saw him coming, shut the door. Further down there, you can see also continued action there between Shane Forget as they head up towards turn 6 and 7. And now Malspur losing a little bit of ground to Forget and closes in under braking. Behind that, battle continuing for the 43 car. Remember, that is Robert Stoltz. It looks like Van Zyl got some problems. The Golf, the big jumbo Golf, just unfortunately falling by the wayside there, coming up towards Dunlop and the Southern Loop. This is Matt Cohen's point of view as he turns in. Look at how he's having to work that accelerator, hand throttle there, and the braking, and he keeps it all together. Brilliant stuff there. Cohen doing a super job. Forget under big pressure as Spur looks to go on the inside in the G&H Transport Polo. Can't find a way past just yet. She heads up towards turn 2 now, trying to go on the inside, trying to find that inside line to come into the corkscrew. Garland pulling slightly away now from Nick Martin, and oh, look at that, spinning out the leader, Danhauser, all on his own sim. Heads down into the corkscrew and gets it wrong, and he's still on the sideline. As the battle between Forget and Spur goes past him, he's losing massive amounts of ground now. Can you believe it? The pressure of leading this race has got to Danhauser. Oh, speaking of pressure, that's big pressure coming from Louis Scholz. He's got through now and past the super boss of Davison. Davison is looking behind him. He's got Alex Marks, and he's looking also to keep out Reinoff and Heerden. But right now he's also trying to close up on Nick Martin, who also seems to be having a small problem there. Nick Martin is losing some ground rapidly to Louis Scholz. So a bit of a change up at the front end now. We've got Hondas 1 and 2. It's Opels 3 and 4 as they head up towards the Southern Loop. Up the hill and over the airfield runway and onto the brakes into Dunlop. Hard braking coming out of Garland. Same thing out of Scholz. Whoa, how's that for a maneuver? 1, 2, 3, thanks for that. Rice Asmal just diving on the inside and getting some valuable track time there. Remember, he's the man who'll be stepping up next year into the NGN Polo Cup. Now, look a little bit further back there. Reinoff and Heerden applying pressure onto the back end, looking for a way past Almira Van Eck. Can he do it? No, the two of them come together. Oh, that could have ended up in tears. Through that corner, you don't want to touch cars. It'll be costly. Down into the corkscrew and the autObarn Honda getting away from this pack. How far ahead is Uwe Scholz? Scholz still in second place in the car care clinic car. As they come through there, he sits in second. Oh, that battle continuing further back in this field. Van Eck dives through. Robert Stoltz loses out. It looks like he's going to have to fight with Craig Priestley now. Late braking coming from Asmal as he dives on the inside of Chris Davison. Davison side by side with Asmal as they come out of that double right-hander. And now heading towards the dam section, back on board with Matt Cohen. And look how busy his day is in that cockpit, working hard and keeping it real. Definitely a fantastic effort here from him. First time for him down here at Dezzi. Oh, nice move there from the 7-1 of Godino. Sandro Godino squeezing through and looking for a way to get a little bit higher up. Coming to the closing stages now. Zane van Zyl, as I said, having some issues, but he seems to have got around them. And he's made his way up ahead of Malspur. Have a look out for the checkered flag to come out for Brett Garland, but keep an eye out as well for an incredible drive coming out of Louis Scholz. Reinoff and Heerden further back in the field. The flag is going to come out. And there you can see across the line, it is Brett Garland to take the win. Super effort from him, and he comes through there on Freddie Watkins heading towards turn 1. He takes the win in Class A, Class B, eventually going to Rice Ismail, and Class C going to Reina van Heerden. But a great dice between Nick Martin and Chris Davison.
Yeah, it was a great first race for us. Nice second and the third for business partners, and Chris Davison better watch out because we're coming for him next race.
Chris, he says he's coming to get you next race.
It was very close. I think 200th of a second across the line between me and Nick. So that's the race to watch in race 2.
Race 2 action about to happen with autObarn Superhatch, but the big crowds are looking forward to seeing whether or not we're going to see some big spills like we saw. And speaking of big spills, it's getting hot down here at Dezzi's Raceway. On the line and ready to go, Superhatch. And it's a super start from Danhauser. Hopefully he can keep it all together this time. Remember, he's the man who spun out through the corkscrew in race 1. Looks like a super start as well from Sandro Godino. Goes side by side with Mal Spur down towards turn 1. Spur's on the inside. Sandro has to follow through line astern. And Louis Scholz a bit further back there. You can see having to come through the field rapidly. Craig Priestley goes side by side with Van Heerden and Almira Van Eck as they head up to the top of turn 2. It is Danhauser from Garland, Nick Martin side by side with Chris Davison, as they were in race number 1. As they go through that corkscrew, Chris Davison probably going to be looking to return the favour. Back on board here with Matt Cohen. He has to work double time here in the cockpit, as you can see, using that hand control and getting into a little bit of trouble there. Oh, he's got sideways, tagging one of the Opals, I think, as he comes through. He gets going again. Let's wait and see if he's able to keep... Yes, he is. He's able to keep it going. Not quite sure who the man he tangled with was, but definitely one of the Opals there, coming together with Matt Cohen as they came out of the top end of that corkscrew. Louis Scott starting to make his way through the field. Zane van Zyl as well. And you can see just behind, Malspur meets in the sandwich there between the Opal of Forget and right on her tail. That is, of course, the hard-charging Sandro Godino. Godino trying to close down now on Malspur. Further up the field, it's Garland looking for a way past on Danhauser. Nick Martin fending off the attack. Look at the pace that Louis Scholz has found. He really is going well here at Dezzi's Raceway. Malspur onto the bumper of the Opal. Nearly dives on the inside. Slightly different line there from Mel as she comes out in that GNH transport car of hers. Trying to get the drive on board here with Chris Davison as he closes in on Nick Martin. This is exactly what we saw in race number 1. The two Opals going at it. Remember, they both run Superboss engines. One's got the Cadet, one's got the actual Superboss. And they're all trying to close down on the autObarn Honda out front. Danhauser's dropped to second now. And the second of those Hondas starting to make his way to the front end is Scholz. Louis Scholz in the car care clinic car. Oh, forces Davison wide. Davison just, I think, avoiding a little bit of a confrontation between the two of them as they came out there of that double right-hander. Now over the dam. And Davison looking to come straight back at Louis Scholz and close in on Martin. It's a three-way battle now. Further back, Van Heerden and closing in on Priestley. Priestley, I think, is going to have his hands full any second now. Speaking of hands full, there's Louis Scholz diving on the inside of Nick Martin. Finds a way through in that triple apex right-hander. Flicks it into the left-hand side and gets back onto the main straight to complete another lap and looking to close down on the leading Honda. He's got to find a way past Andre Danhauser. He's had a good weekend so far, just couldn't quite capitalize on that decent lead he had in race number 1, but he's certainly going a lot better here in race 2. Nick Martin back at Davison. Davison's found his way past as they came out of the Dunlop Southern Loop, and now in the Northern Loop, they're side by side. So close between those two Opals as they head down into the corkscrew, and Martin just gets through in that Rex-stiffen gearbox machine. As he comes up out of the corkscrew. The rest of the field come into that corkscrew. Forget running wide. It's not quite the line he wants to be on. It's going to make it very tight into the hairpin. Speaking of tight, it's getting even tighter here between the Opal and the Honda, and Scholz can smell blood in the water. As they come into the Southern Loop, though, he's going to dive on the inside. Danhauser's going to lose Archer potentially. Oh, Andre Danhauser runs wide. Makes a slight mistake with the pressure being applied. The checkered flag is going to come out for Garland, and it's Louis Scholz who's just been able to squeeze through to get through to second. He'll take Class B honours, of course. So super effort there from Garland to win out the Class A's. B's goes to Louis Scholz and C's once again to Reina van Heerden.
It was a good day. Unfortunately, without Jono here, I didn't really have much competition, but I must say I still struggled to pass the other guys, and it was a good day. Leading Class A now, so hopefully we can take it to the end. And we've got a nice surprise for everybody for the keys at 200.